G'day. How's everybody? You know, the worst thing is the first speaker. You have a real task of trying to get some energy in the room, and that's probably pretty hard when I look out at how people are feeling this morning. What I did first, I came in before you were all here, and I spoke to the cameraman, so I just need to check. He was to make me taller, younger, and thinner. And so I'm not sure whether it's working, Guy. Can you just, ramp it up? So it's a very exciting thing to be the president of the Retirement Living Council. And I know that you would think that I got that role because I've got a very elaborate career as a manager and, I've hit a lot of goals. But I'm going to tell you a secret, and I'm only going to share this with the 500 of you that are here, about my very first management experience and leadership experience, which was a volunteer role. I was 4.5 years of age, but this has set me up for life. So I was brought up in a family with a mob of kids. I was the youngest, so 10 of us used to sit down on 2 benches on a big table. And my mother always had a couple of rules in the house, like we weren't allowed to be in the house unless we were eating. There had to be a tablecloth, which was great, and there always had to be meat and 3 veg. And the veg, it just had to be 3 different colours. Didn't really matter what it was, but it had to be 3 different colours. So being the shortest and the littlest, I used to traffic food underneath the table. Because if you're ever sitting at a table and you've got 10 kids, not all of them will eat Brussels sprouts, not all of them will eat pumpkin or carrot or whatever is on the table. And so I used to be under there, and there was this technique that I had going. I would have substitutes. I would have plates that would migrate to another team member in the field. And so I used to play this whole football selection around vegetables. And my parents were so busy trying to cut up the food, and over there they just heard this rabble of kids going on. So that's where I gained my first experience in management, and I like to think that my career trajectory has been based on wheeling and dealing in food. And I'm sure if I'd been born a boy, I would be doing the AFL selection for Dockers in particular this year. They didn't ask me. Shame. So, what is the RLC? A lot of you probably don't even know what it is. It is probably the most fabulous group experience that I've had, and I'm lucky to be in. I sit around the table with 22, and I hope there's going to be a slide that will come up and shows who those people are. But there are 22 members on the council, and it covers people, and they are only operators. So we do not have consultants, we do not have other people who are in there who haven't got their hand in the game and doing it every day. So we are all providers who sit around that council. And we are really the key negotiator on your behalf and on the industry's behalf when it comes to trying and dealing with difficult times with government, with legislation that's coming in. And I hope you read the paper this morning, the Fin Review. You will see that we snuck a few statistics in there that you'll hear about later from Tony Massano. But it is really a very powerful and wonderful group to be. Now, there are 20 of the 22 here today, and hopefully you will get to mingle with them. What you'll find over the next 2 days is that you will take away something from being here. Yes, well, it might be a bag with some gifts in it, but apart from that, you'll take away some knowledge or a conversation that you've had, or something that you will integrate into your day-to-day operations. And that's what's so inspiring. And when we talk about raising the bar, it has been like playing limbo over the last 2.5 years. The bar has come down. We've had to learn to be much more nimble to get under it so that it doesn't close us off, so that we're the winners at the end of the day. So this is going to be a very exciting 2 days for you, and I really look forward to it. I do have to tell you some bad news, and that's why I can waffle on for a few more minutes, is that the minister has had to pull out. Oh, I hear you say. You're meant to go, oh, how terrible. So the minister has got to go to an urgent meeting. It's almost like it's an episode of Yes Minister. Oh yes, I've got to attend an urgent meeting with the Prime Minister. But what we know is that the government is doing us a wonderful cause at the moment. Josh Frydenberg, you're going to be on my Christmas card list. Sorry, I'm a card-carrying Labor voter, but I'll send him a Christmas card. He has put retirees and older people onto the agenda. I'm not sure what mushroom he was living under in the last 10 years, because we've all known about what is happening with the ageing generations. I'm a baby boomer. I'm one of those who's going to be hitting there. So all of a sudden, he and the Prime Minister have discovered that Australia is going to have the same issue as the rest of the world, and trying to do a bit of a guilt trip on us getting aged, and wants everybody to retrain when they're 70. So I thank him for putting it on the agenda, and hopefully that will give us some more conversation pieces that we can engage with the media, with government. 2.5 years ago, we had an opportunity, and the opportunity was brought up through the media, not at our liking, but we had an opportunity to say, do we stand here, do we bury our heads in the sand, do we progress as we're going slowly, or do we totally disrupt what we're doing and start bringing in some change? Do we grow up fast? And what I'm pleased to say is we chose to grow up fast. We came out with an 8-point plan, and I'm a nurse, and so for me it's like birthing, and I gave this experience last night at our dinner and talked about how I feel like a midwife, because some of those things we were able to integrate and introduce in our 8-point plan very quickly. They were low-hanging fruit. But we had a couple of really tough things to do, things like developing standards, accreditation, codes of conduct, not easy tasks, capability frameworks, training for and education for people who are working in the sector, whether it be in villages or whether it be in sales, so that we had some common understanding, common levels of practice. So this 2 days we'll see that some of those things are not going to be a breech birth. As a nurse, I always worry that I'm going to see somebody's bottom first rather than see their head come out. Now, last night I did use the West Australian term, and because I know there are many West Australians here, to my comrades, I didn't want to see the arse come out first. So we are going to see the completion of our code of conduct, and that will be talked about through the next 2 days. We currently have just under 1,000 organisations or villages who have signed up, and it becomes live on the 1st of January. We will see more information given out about the capability frameworks that are being worked on and launched. So you will be at the forefront of knowing what is happening. If you do not take notice of these things, you're not going to be here in the next couple of years, because the rest of the world is going to pass you by. We are running so fast at changing, and with the disruptors that are coming in our industry at the moment, you have to keep up. So I can only encourage you, if you are not a member of your state retirement committee or the Property Council of Australia or the Retirement Living Council, then this is your opportunity to get to know why you should be part of it, so that you are well equipped for going forward. What I know is I'm surrounded here by people with passion. This is a long-haul industry, isn't it? This is a long-haul play that we're in for. And so we've got to have passion for what we're doing. And I'm so excited to know that we have representatives of the Retirement Villages resident associations who are here, who met with us yesterday. Alistair, it's lovely. I don't know where all your members are. They're hidden around. But please make your way and let yourself be known to them. The resident associations have been a marvellous resource for us to develop all our new tools and to develop this suite of practices that are coming in. Because I think we were arrogant at a certain point It was either we were arrogant or we were ignorant, and we thought we knew it all. And, you know, we go through that in our career where when you first sort of move up the career path, you think you know everything and you can't acknowledge anything you don't know. And it's not until you get some wisdom which comes with falling over a few times. And I think that is what happened to the industry. There was a level of arrogance where we had moved forward without the engagement, the appropriate engagement of residents. And I'm very pleased to say that we all have different agendas, but we are able to meet with a common view of let's improve the system so that it's more efficient, it's a good business to run, but not at the loss of the people who elect to live in those locations.